That little extra hair in the brush, the shower drain seeming fuller than usual, it's more than just a bad hair day. For many women, it's a distressing sign that an unseen battle is raging within, often fueled by two modern culprits: chronic stress and persistent sleep deprivation. These silent saboteurs don't just steal our peace, they can also steal our hair. And a key accomplice in this theft is a hormone called cortisol, our body's primary stress messenger. Understanding its role and how our demanding lives can turn it against us is the first step towards reclaiming not just our hair, but our overall vitality. Cortisol, often dubbed the stress hormone, is far more than just a harbinger of anxiety. Produced by the adrenal glands, small organs perched atop our kidneys, cortisol is essential for life. It plays a crucial role in a multitude of bodily processes. Think of it as a built-in alarm system and a manager of resources. In the morning, a natural surge of cortisol helps us wake up, feeling alert and ready to face the day. It helps regulate blood sugar levels, providing the brain with the glucose it needs for energy. It also plays a part in managing inflammation, keeping our immune responses in check. During acute stress, a sudden danger, a tight deadline, cortisol, along with adrenaline, orchestrates the fight-or-flight response. It sharpens focus, mobilizes energy stores, and temporarily boosts physical capacity, all designed to help us survive or overcome an immediate threat. In these short bursts, cortisol is undeniably beneficial, a sophisticated adaptation that has helped humanity navigate a challenging world for millennia. The problem arises not from cortisol itself, but from its chronic, unrelenting elevation in response to the sustained pressures of modern life. Our bodies are designed to handle acute stress, after which cortisol levels are supposed to return to baseline. However, many of us live in a state where the stress response is perpetually activated, leading to a cascade of physiological disruptions. The relentless pace of contemporary existence, with its constant connectivity, demanding careers, financial worries, and societal pressures, often means our internal alarm systems rarely get a chance to switch off. This chronic stress signals the adrenal glands to keep pumping out cortisol. Unlike an ancient hunter facing a saber-toothed tiger, where the threat was immediate and resolved quickly, our modern stressors are often intangible, prolonged, and pervasive. The body, however, doesn't always differentiate between a physical threat and a psychological one, like an overwhelming inbox or a difficult relationship. It interprets ongoing worry, anxiety, and pressure as a persistent state of emergency, keeping cortisol levels consistently high. This sustained elevation disrupts the body's delicate hormonal balance and impacts nearly every system, from metabolism and immune function to cardiovascular health and, significantly, the health of our hair. Sleep deprivation is another powerful trigger for elevated cortisol. Sleep is not a passive state of inactivity. It's a critical period of restoration and repair for the body and mind. During healthy sleep, cortisol levels naturally dip to their lowest point in the evening and early night, allowing other restorative processes to take over. When we consistently fail to get enough quality sleep, whether due to insomnia, late nights, or fragmented rest, the body perceives this as a significant stressor. The natural diurnal rhythm of cortisol, high in the morning, low at night, becomes dysregulated. Sleep deprivation can lead to higher overall cortisol levels and disrupt this pattern, often resulting in elevated cortisol in the evening when it should be declining, making it harder to fall asleep and potentially blunting the morning cortisol awakening response that helps us feel energized. This creates a vicious cycle. Stress leads to poor sleep, and poor sleep further elevates stress hormones, including cortisol. It's like revving an engine constantly without giving it a chance to cool down. Eventually, parts begin to wear out, and our physiological systems, including those responsible for hair growth, start to show the strain. The body, in its wisdom, begins to prioritize essential survival functions over those deemed less critical, such as robust hair growth, when it believes it's under constant threat. The connection between high cortisol and hair loss is not merely anecdotal. It's rooted in complex biological mechanisms that directly impact the hair growth cycle and the health of hair follicles. Our hair grows in a cyclical pattern comprising three main phases: anagen, the active growth phase; catagen, a short transitional phase; and telogen, the resting phase, after which the hair sheds. Under normal conditions, about 85 to 90% of our scalp hairs are in the anagen phase, which can last for several years. However, elevated cortisol levels can send a shock wave through this delicate cycle. One of the most common forms of stress-induced hair loss is known as telogen effluvium. In this condition, a significantly larger than usual number of hair follicles are prematurely pushed from the anagen growth phase into the telogen resting shedding phase. This means that instead of the typical 50-100 hairs shed per day, individuals might experience shedding of 300 hairs or more. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It usually becomes noticeable 2 to 4 months after a significant stressful event, or a period of intense chronic stress or sleep deprivation, which aligns with the time it takes for hairs to transition through the telogen phase before falling out. Cortisol's detrimental effects extend beyond just disrupting the hair cycle. It can directly impact the hair follicles themselves. Hair follicles are tiny, complex mini-organs embedded in the skin, responsible for producing hair. They rely on a healthy microenvironment, adequate blood supply, and a delicate balance of growth factors and hormones to function optimally. Chronically high cortisol can compromise this environment in several ways. It can trigger inflammation around the hair follicle, a condition known as perifollicular inflammation, which can damage the follicle and impede hair growth. Furthermore, cortisol can constrict blood vessels, including those that supply vital nutrients and oxygen to the hair follicles. Reduced blood flow means the follicles are starved of the building blocks they need to produce strong, healthy hair. Cortisol can also influence the activity of hair follicle stem cells, which are crucial for regenerating hair follicles and initiating new hair growth cycles. Prolonged exposure to high cortisol levels may impair the function of these stem cells, leading to a gradual thinning of hair over time. There's also evidence suggesting that cortisol can interact with other hormones involved in hair growth, potentially exacerbating conditions like androgenetic alopecia, pattern baldness, by increasing the sensitivity of hair follicles to androgens or by disrupting the overall hormonal milieu. The hair follicle, in essence, becomes a casualty in the body's prolonged battle against perceived threats, with cortisol acting as a key mediator of this damage. The experience of stress-induced hair loss is deeply personal and often distressing. Consider Sarah, a 38-year-old marketing executive who had always prided herself on her thick, vibrant hair. Over a particularly grueling year, marked by intense project deadlines, company restructuring, and the added responsibility of caring for an ailing parent, she began to notice her ponytail feeling thinner. Her hairbrush collected more strands each morning, and she could see more of her scalp when her hair was wet. The added worry about her thinning hair only compounded her existing stress, creating a feedback loop that seemed to accelerate the problem. Or take Emily, a new mother at 32. The joy of her baby was immense, but so was the sleep deprivation and the overwhelming responsibility. The typical postpartum hair shedding, often linked to hormonal shifts after childbirth, seemed far more severe and prolonged for her. She later realized that the constant anxiety about her baby's well-being and the sheer exhaustion had likely sent her cortisol levels soaring, exacerbating the natural shedding process. Then there's Linda, 49, navigating the uncertainties of perimenopause. Alongside hot flashes and mood swings, she noticed her hair becoming finer and less dense. The hormonal fluctuations of this life stage were already a challenge, but the added stress of aging parents, career pressures, and the emotional toll of these changes created a perfect storm for cortisol dysregulation, impacting her hair in ways she hadn't anticipated. These fictionalized yet highly relatable scenarios illustrate a common thread. When life's demands overwhelm our capacity to cope, our bodies, and often our hair, bear the brunt. Women in particular may find themselves uniquely vulnerable to the hair-thinning effects of chronic stress and elevated cortisol due to a confluence of biological and societal factors. The postpartum period is a prime example. New mothers often experience a dramatic drop in estrogen and progesterone levels after childbirth, which itself can trigger telogen effluvium. When this is combined with the profound sleep deprivation, the emotional upheaval, and the sheer physical demands of caring for a newborn, cortisol levels can skyrocket. This hormonal double whammy, falling estrogen and rising cortisol, can lead to significant and distressing hair loss that goes beyond the typical postpartum shed. For many women, it's a deeply emotional experience, adding another layer of stress during an already vulnerable time. Perimenopause and menopause represent another period of heightened susceptibility. During this transition, levels of estrogen and progesterone, hormones that play a protective role in hair growth, decline. Simultaneously, life stressors can often peak in midlife, with women juggling careers, aging parents, and changing family dynamics. Sleep disturbances, such as night sweats and insomnia, are also common during perimenopause, further contributing to cortisol dysregulation. The relative increase in androgens, male hormones present in women that can occur as estrogen declines, can also make hair follicles more sensitive to their miniaturizing effects, potentially triggering or worsening female pattern hair loss. Elevated cortisol can exacerbate this by further disrupting the delicate balance of sex hormones and by promoting inflammation, creating an environment less conducive to healthy hair growth. The chronic mental load that many women carry throughout their lives also plays a significant role. This invisible work, the constant cognitive effort of managing households, anticipating needs, organizing schedules, and providing emotional support, often goes unrecognized but contributes to a sustained, low-grade stress that keeps cortisol levels simmering. This undercurrent of chronic stress, even without major acute stressors, can slowly chip away at hair health over years, leading to a gradual thinning that women may only notice as they enter their 30s, 40s, and beyond. The societal pressure on women to maintain a youthful appearance can also mean that hair loss is not just a physical concern, but carries a heavy emotional and psychological burden, further fueling the stress cycle. The good news is that while chronic stress, sleep deprivation, and high cortisol can indeed wreak havoc on our hair, we are not powerless. By adopting targeted strategies to manage stress, improve sleep, and support our body's natural balance, we can lower cortisol levels and create an internal environment conducive to hair regrowth and overall well-being. The journey to healthier hair often begins with addressing the root causes, the stress and lack of rest that fuel the problem. Lifestyle changes are paramount. Incorporating regular stress-reducing practices into daily life can make a profound difference. Mindfulness and meditation are powerful tools. Even 10 to 15 minutes a day of focused breathing or guided meditation can help shift the nervous system from the sympathetic fight-or-flight mode to the parasympathetic rest and digest state, directly signaling the adrenal glands to reduce cortisol production. Yoga and Tai Chi, with their gentle movements, mindful breathing, and focus on the mind-body connection, are also excellent for calming the nervous system and lowering stress hormones. Simple, deep breathing exercises, such as diaphragmatic breathing, can be practiced anywhere, anytime, to instantly reduce feelings of anxiety and lower acute stress responses. Spending time in nature, often referred to as forest bathing or ecotherapy, has been scientifically shown to reduce cortisol levels and improve mood. Even a short walk in a park can be beneficial. Journaling can be a valuable outlet for processing emotions and worries, helping to externalize stressors rather than internalizing them. Learning to set healthy boundaries, saying no to excessive demands, and delegating tasks are crucial for managing the chronic mental load many women experience. Prioritizing hobbies and activities that bring joy and relaxation is not an indulgence but a necessity for stress management. Beyond general lifestyle adjustments, specific stress management techniques can be employed. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is a well-established approach that helps individuals identify and change negative thought patterns and behaviors that contribute to stress and anxiety. Learning to reframe stressful situations and develop more adaptive coping mechanisms can significantly reduce the body's stress response. Identifying personal stress triggers and developing proactive strategies to manage them is also key. This might involve time management techniques, conflict resolution skills, or seeking support from friends, family, or a therapist. Improving sleep hygiene is non-negotiable when it comes to lowering cortisol and supporting hair health. The body needs consistent, high-quality sleep to repair and regulate its hormonal systems. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night and try to maintain a consistent sleep schedule, going to bed and waking up around the same time each day, even on weekends. This helps regulate the body's natural circadian rhythms, including the cortisol cycle. Create a sleep-conducive environment. Your bedroom should be cool, dark, quiet, and comfortable. Minimize exposure to blue light from screens, phones, tablets, computers, TV for at least an hour before bed, as blue light can suppress melatonin production and interfere with sleep. Establish a relaxing wind-down routine before bed, such as taking a warm bath, reading a physical book, listening to calming music, or practicing gentle stretching. Avoid heavy meals, caffeine, and alcohol close to bedtime, as these can disrupt sleep quality. If insomnia is a persistent issue, seeking professional advice from a doctor or sleep specialist is important. Nutrition plays a vital role in both stress resilience and hair growth. An anti-inflammatory diet rich in whole foods is foundational. Focus on consuming plenty of fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats. These foods provide the essential vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants needed to combat oxidative stress and support cellular health, including that of hair follicles. Protein is particularly important for hair, as hair itself is primarily made of a protein called keratin. Ensure adequate intake of high-quality protein sources like fish, poultry, beans, lentils, and eggs. Certain micronutrients are crucial for hair health and can be depleted by chronic stress. Iron deficiency is a common cause of hair loss, especially in women. Ensure adequate iron intake through foods like red meat, spinach, and lentils, and consider testing if deficiency is suspected. Zinc is another mineral vital for hair tissue growth and repair. Biotin, a B vitamin, is often marketed for hair growth, and while severe deficiency is rare, ensuring adequate intake is beneficial. Vitamin D, which functions like a hormone in the body, plays a role in hair follicle cycling, and many people are deficient. Sensible sun exposure and D-rich foods or supplements, if needed, can help. B vitamins in general are important for energy metabolism and stress management. Conversely, try to limit or avoid processed foods, sugary drinks, and excessive refined carbohydrates, as these can contribute to inflammation and blood sugar imbalances, which can further stress the body and potentially worsen cortisol dysregulation. Hydration is also key. Drinking plenty of water supports overall bodily functions, including nutrient delivery to hair follicles. Certain supplements and herbal adaptogens may offer additional support in managing cortisol and promoting hair health, but it's crucial to approach them with caution and ideally under the guidance of a healthcare professional, as they can interact with medications or have side effects. Magnesium is a mineral involved in hundreds of biochemical reactions, including muscle relaxation and nerve function. It can help calm the nervous system and improve sleep. Magnesium glycinate is often well tolerated. Omega-3 fatty acids found in fatty fish, flax seeds, and walnuts have anti-inflammatory properties and may help modulate cortisol response. Probiotics, by supporting gut health, can indirectly influence stress and inflammation, as the gut-brain axis plays a significant role in our stress response. Adaptogens are a class of herbs that are thought to help the body adapt to stress and normalize physiological processes. Ashwagandha is perhaps one of the most well-studied adaptogens for its cortisol-lowering effects. It's believed to help regulate the hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal axis, the body's central stress response system. Rhodiola rosea is another adaptogen that may enhance resilience to stress and reduce fatigue. Holy basil, tulsi, has a long history of use in Ayurvedic medicine for its stress-relieving and cortisol-balancing properties. When considering any supplement or herb, quality and dosage are important, and consultation with a knowledgeable practitioner can help determine if they are appropriate for your individual needs and health status. Other non-invasive strategies can complement these efforts. Gentle scalp massage can improve blood circulation to the hair follicles, potentially enhancing nutrient delivery and promoting a healthier environment for hair growth. It can also be a relaxing ritual that helps reduce stress. Adopting gentle hair care practices is also wise. Avoid harsh chemical treatments, excessive heat styling, and tight hairstyles that can put physical stress on the hair and follicles, as these can exacerbate hair shedding, especially when hair is already vulnerable due to internal stressors. While not a direct cortisol-lowering strategy, ensuring your hair care routine is supportive rather than damaging can make a visible difference. For those seeking more direct interventions for hair growth, options like low-level laser therapy, LLT caps or bands, are non-invasive and FDA cleared for promoting hair growth in some types of hair loss. They work by stimulating cellular activity within the follicles. However, addressing the underlying cortisol imbalance remains key for sustainable results. Ultimately, the journey to healthier hair in the face of chronic stress and sleep deprivation is deeply intertwined with the journey to overall well-being. Viewing stress reduction and sleep improvement not as optional luxuries, but as essential pillars of health is a paradigm shift that can transform not only your hair, but your entire life. It's about reclaiming a sense of balance and control in a world that often feels overwhelming. Each step taken to soothe your nervous system, to nourish your body, and to prioritize rest is an investment in your resilience. It's an act of profound self-compassion that sends a powerful message to your body, that it is safe, supported, and allowed to thrive. As cortisol levels find their natural rhythm, and as your body shifts from a state of constant alert to one of calm restoration, you may find that your hair, too, begins to reflect this internal harmony. This isn't just about fighting hair loss, it's about cultivating a life where your inner peace and outer radiance can truly flourish, strand by beautiful strand. Embrace this path with patience and kindness towards yourself, knowing that you are nurturing not just the roots of your hair, but the roots of your vitality.